What separates a talented player from a future champion? It isn't the trophies. It isn't the rankings. And sometimes it isn't even the victories. It's what happens when everything is on the line and how you respond when the pressure feels impossible to carry. At Wimbledon 2026, Alex Eala gave the tennis world an answer that nobody expected. She didn't just play incredible tennis. She proved she belongs among the sport's elite. And by the end of her unforgettable run, millions of fans weren't just talking about her forehand or her ranking, they were talking about her character. Stay with us until the end because the biggest lesson from Alex Eala's Wimbledon journey wasn't found on the scoreboard. It was found in the way she handled both victory and heartbreak. Long before the bright lights of center court, Alex Eala had quietly built one of the most promising careers in women's tennis. As a junior, she captured a Grand Slam title and trained at the world-famous Rafael Nadal Academy, where discipline, resilience, and relentless work ethic became part of her identity. Coaches praised her aggressive baseline game, her fearless mentality, and her ability to compete against players far more experienced than herself. But junior success doesn't guarantee professional greatness. Many young stars dominate junior tennis only to struggle when they reach the WTA Tour. The competition becomes faster, stronger, and mentally more demanding. Every opponent has weapons. Every match feels like a battle. For several years, critics believed Alex still had something to prove. She showed flashes of brilliance but hadn't yet produced the breakthrough performance that would convince the tennis world she was ready for the biggest stage. Then Wimbledon arrived. Coming into the tournament, Alex wasn't considered one of the favorites. She entered as the world number 29, a respectable ranking but far from the players expected to compete for the title. Most predictions barely mentioned her name. The spotlight belonged to the defending champions and Grand Slam winners. Alex simply focused on playing her game. What made this Wimbledon different wasn't luck. It was preparation. During the grass court season leading into London, her confidence had steadily grown. Her flat ground strokes traveled faster through the low-bouncing grass, her return game became more dangerous, and analysts quietly began suggesting that grass might actually become one of her strongest surfaces. Still, predictions mean very little once the first ball is struck. Grand Slam tennis is unforgiving. One bad service game. One nervous mistake. One lapse in concentration. And months of preparation can disappear in less than 2 hours. But Alex entered Wimbledon carrying something even heavier than expectations. She carried the hopes of an entire nation. For decades, the Philippines had dreamed of seeing one of its own compete deep into a Grand Slam. Tennis had never enjoyed the popularity of basketball or boxing back home, and very few Filipino players had ever reached this level. Every match Alex played represented something much bigger than personal success. She was inspiring a generation that suddenly believed anything was possible. That kind of pressure breaks many athletes. Instead, it made Alex stronger. Her tournament began exactly the way every player hopes, with confidence. She defeated Renata Zarazua in straight sets before surviving a far more demanding second-round battle against Maya Joint. That second match tested not only her physical endurance but also her emotional control. Every difficult point strengthened her belief. Every victory increased her confidence. But nothing could prepare her for what waited in the third round. Standing across the net would be one of the most dominant players in modern tennis. The defending Wimbledon champion. A multiple Grand Slam winner. A player almost everyone expected to continue her title defense without serious trouble. For most players, this would have been the end of the journey. For Alex Eala, it became the beginning of something unforgettable. The real test of Alex Eala's Wimbledon journey began the moment she stepped onto center court to face the defending champion. On paper, almost nobody gave her a realistic chance. Across the tennis world, predictions favored the experienced Grand Slam winner. Most expected another routine victory before the tournament truly reached its decisive stages. Alex had different plans. From the very first game, it became clear she wasn't there simply to enjoy the occasion. She attacked with confidence, stepped inside the baseline whenever possible, and refused to allow the defending champion to dictate the rallies. Every powerful return and fearless forehand sent a message that she had come to compete, not survive. The opening set quickly developed into a tense battle. Neither player was willing to give away easy points, and every service game carried enormous pressure. Eventually, the set reached a tiebreak, where championships are often decided by only a handful of shots. This was the biggest moment of Alex's young career. Instead of tightening under pressure, she became even calmer. Point after point, she matched one of the world's best players with incredible composure. She trusted her aggressive game, attacked when opportunities appeared, and refused to let the occasion overwhelm her. When she finally sealed the opening set, center court erupted. Suddenly the impossible looked possible. The defending champion now faced something she hadn't expected, a fearless opponent playing with complete belief. As the match continued, Alex maintained that confidence. She absorbed pressure, responded to every challenge, and continued forcing the champion into uncomfortable positions around the court. By the time the final point was played, one of the biggest upsets of the tournament had become reality. The tennis world reacted immediately. Social media exploded with highlights from the match. Sports channels replayed her winners again and again. Fans across the Philippines celebrated a victory many believed would be remembered for years. For countless people watching at home, it wasn't simply another upset. It was history. Alex Eala had proven she belonged among the world's elite. But success brings a different kind of pressure. The moment she defeated the defending champion, expectations completely changed. She was no longer the unknown challenger quietly making progress through the draw. She became the player everyone wanted to watch. Her next opponent, Jasmine Paolini, understood exactly how dangerous Alex had become. Having previously faced her on tour, Paolini knew this wasn't a lucky run. Before the match, she openly acknowledged Alex's aggressive game and admitted that grass suited her style perfectly. Those comments alone showed how quickly respect for Alex had grown inside professional tennis. When their round of 16 match began, neither player gave an inch. Paolini captured the opening set 6-4 using her experience during the biggest moments. Many young players would have allowed frustration to take over after falling behind. Alex didn't. She immediately responded with one of her strongest sets of the tournament, winning the second set 6-4 and forcing a deciding third set. Now everything came down to one final battle. The third set became a contest of nerves as much as skill. Game after game, both players protected their serves with remarkable consistency. Neither could create a break opportunity. Every rally carried enormous importance, and every point pushed the tension higher inside center court. Then came the moment that changed everything. With the score finally balanced, Alex stood only a few points away from leveling the set once again. Holding serve would have kept the pressure squarely on Paolini. Instead, the experienced Italian produced her best tennis exactly when she needed it most. Paolini found the crucial break before calmly serving out the match. Alex's remarkable Wimbledon journey had come to an end. For a few moments, disappointment was impossible to hide. She had come within touching distance of the quarterfinals, something no Filipina had ever achieved before. Yet what happened after the match may have impressed people even more than the victories themselves. Walking into the press conference, Alex showed none of the frustration many expected. She spoke calmly, honestly, and respectfully about the match. She congratulated Paolini, admitted that her opponent had played better in the biggest moments, and accepted the result without searching for excuses. That level of maturity stood out. She didn't blame luck. She didn't complain about missed opportunities. She simply focused on learning. Alex also reflected on the tournament as a whole, saying she was proud of how she had handled pressure throughout the 2 weeks. She explained that pressure is something every player must learn to embrace, and that competing on the biggest stages only makes an athlete stronger. Those words revealed exactly why so many people believe her future is incredibly bright. Great players aren't defined only by how they celebrate victories. They're defined by how they respond to defeat. Every champion experiences painful losses. The difference is what they choose to do afterward. Alex chose growth. Instead of seeing Wimbledon as the end of a dream, she viewed it as the beginning of a much bigger journey. Her performance had already changed the conversation surrounding Philippine tennis. Young players across the country suddenly had someone to look up to. Tennis clubs reported growing interest, fans followed every update about her career, and international media began recognizing her as one of the brightest young talents on the WTA Tour. The attention will only continue to grow. As the hardcourt season approaches, every tournament brings another opportunity to build on the confidence she gained in London. Opponents now know her name, coaches will prepare specifically for her style of play, expectations will be higher than ever. But that is exactly what happens when a player proves she belongs. The surprise factor disappears. Respect takes its place. And respect is earned only through performances like the one Alex delivered at Wimbledon. She may not have lifted the trophy. She may not have reached the quarterfinals. But she walked away with something equally valuable, the belief that she can compete with the very best players in the world. Sometimes the most important victories don't appear beside your name on the scoreboard. Sometimes they are found in the confidence you build, the respect you earn, and the belief you inspire in millions of people watching from home. Alex Eala's Wimbledon story wasn't defined by the final score. It was defined by courage under pressure, resilience after heartbreak, and the quiet confidence of a player whose greatest achievements are still ahead. If this tournament showed the tennis world anything, it's that Alex Eala is no longer just a promising young talent. She is becoming one of the brightest stars in women's tennis. And if this was only the beginning, the rest of her journey could be even more extraordinary.